2069 by Kurrupt DA'guru, Chapter 1. New Detroit, America, June 29, 2016, 11:06 p.m. In the outskirts of New Detroit on a fateful evening of June 29, 2060, the atmosphere was charged with an eerie presence. Standing beside a barn, a peculiar sight unfolded. A magical clown, accompanied by an enigmatic figure cloaked in red, stood alongside a tiny fairy perched on the clown's shoulder. The barn, adorned with solar panels, emitted an aura of power and mystery. Adjacent to this enigmatic scene stood a modest two-story ranch house. Its windows, resembling makeshift prison bars, revealed a solitary light illuminating the darkness within. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning streaked across the sky, and in that instant, the magic clown materialized. Adorned in a vibrant green jester hat, a matching bandana, and donning jeans with a clown mask, he vanished through the window. Inside the house, a young woman named Kylie Kylan, an 18-year-old clone of Jennifer Maynard, the renowned wife of Kurrupt DA'guru, found herself in a vulnerable state. Stripped of her clothing, she stood amidst a room filled with numerous cameras capturing her every move. Standing behind her was Simon Mormon, a notorious child abductor. This 350-pound, 72-year-old man was a despicable creature known for his heinous acts. For the past 13 years, Kylie Kylan and 10 other girls had been held captive by this sick individual. The story of Simon's depravity began in 2047 when he abducted 7 innocent little girls, all born on June 29th, just like Kylie. Their names, etched in the annals of tragedy, remain a haunting reminder of the horrors they endured. In the year 2043, a girl named Mary Esposa came into this world, followed by Selma de Jesus in 2044, Taylor Swanza in 2045, and Saya Jenner in 2046. Sonia Johnson joined them in 2047, and a few years later, tragedy struck when Simon kidnapped Angel Torres, who shared the same birth date of June 29, 2049. The year 2050 brought the arrival of Alvarez, followed by Demi Gomez in 2051. And today, as of this moment, Selena Gonzalez has fallen victim to Simon's sinister actions. Outside the window, a man named Cody Swenningson, also known as Corrupted Clown, lurks with evil intentions. He is infamous for killing child molesters, and he has come here to put an end to Simon's sickening crimes and save these innocent little girls. Simon has a horrifying pattern of murdering his victims when they reach the age of 18, and tragically, today is Kylie's 18th birthday. But before I begin, there is a story I must share with you. In the year 2023, a man named Northwap Hussein, along with a group of juggalos and an army of Black Lives Matter members, stormed the White House in Washington, D.C. Their motive was to protest against President Kanye West, who had made controversial remarks about slavery being a choice. The Black Lives Matter members held President West hostage for a grueling 41 days. In a tumultuous turn of events on July 13, 2030, the United States witnessed a wave of upheaval as the Black Lives Matter movement and various other factions took control of several cities and states. Compton, California, Lexington, Kentucky, North and South Dakota, Texas, Alabama, Brooklyn, New York, Miami, Florida, Detroit, Michigan, Atlanta, Georgia, Washington, D.C., Ohio, and New Jersey all fell under their influence. The White House, once a symbol of power and governance, now resided in the ruins of the One World Trade Center in New York City. This iconic structure, tragically attacked on September 11, 2024, by Jehovah's Witnesses who claimed it to be a modern Tower of Babel, stood as a haunting reminder of the past. By 2030, the United States had been fragmented into 38 states, and chaos reigned supreme. Amidst this chaotic landscape, new religions emerged. Freemason worship took center stage, followed closely by a belief system known as Yeshuism, also referred to as Chrislam. This unique blend of Islam and Christianity, tinged with pagan influences, gained a significant following. As time passed, new anarchy evolved, and communism took hold of America. The ruling power now rested in the hands of robocops, beings that were part human and part robot. These law enforcement entities possessed robotic limbs and heads, housing human brains and torsos capable of regeneration. And the only means to eliminate the robocops is through explosive tip bullets, as conventional bullets prove ineffective against them. Every individual in America bears a tattoo on their left arm, serving as their identification, cell phone, and currency. The banks solely hold digital cash, rendering physical currency obsolete. Telepathic communication is facilitated through implanted phones, allowing thoughts to be heard. New anarchy operates under a unique system where citizens freely engage in acts of murder, drug use, prostitution, and satanic rituals. Religion has been eradicated, and the U.S. government has become the sole deity worshipped by the populace. Massive walls surround the territory, connected by underground tunnels, ensuring the isolation of new anarchy. Citizens from other parts of America can enter freely to partake in Purge, a period of lawlessness and chaos. The federal government holds absolute authority in this new order, with state penitentiaries abolished in favor of federal prisons. Those incarcerated in these facilities renounce their U.S. citizenship and upon completing their sentences are deported. Cloning technology has become prevalent in new anarchy, allowing individuals to be replicated and manipulated for various purposes. In this unsettling world of new anarchy, the ability to clone individuals has become a disturbing reality. These clones are created and implanted into the wombs of women, resulting in the birth of exact replicas. Consequently, new anarchy has become infested with a mix of clones and individuals of diverse backgrounds. Tragically, the number of pure-blooded white individuals has dwindled to a mere 100,000, all residing within the borders of America. Despite the belief that racism had been left behind in the past, the year 2060 reveals a different truth. The RoboCops, driven by their programming, mercilessly target anyone without the required tattoo. In some instances, they even discriminate against individuals with black skin, fearing they may be associated with new anarchy. Occasionally, individuals manage to breach the fortified fences, posing a threat to the established order. Additionally, there exists a notorious gang of skinheads, whose actions and influence will be explored further in Book 2 of this unfolding narrative. With these unsettling elements in place, let us delve further into the story and witness the unfolding events of this dystopian world. Kylie and Simon engaged in an intimate encounter, but to Kylie's disappointment, she felt no pleasure. Simon's erect penis measured only 2 inches, leaving her unsatisfied. In the midst of their encounter, a sudden bolt of lightning illuminated the room, catching Kylie's attention. She could have sworn she saw a clown peering through the window. Startled, she turned to Simon and asked, "Did you see that, Daddy?" Simon, taken aback, withdrew and reached for a towel to wipe the sweat off his face. Simon, feeling a mix of concern and curiosity, spoke up, "Please your customers, and I'll make an exception for you since you're my favorite. I'll spare your life," said Simon, exhausted. He decided to call it a night and announced, "I'm going to get some sleep," before leaving the room. Kylie sat up, her mind racing with thoughts. She pulled her laptop closer, seeking a distraction. To her surprise, she discovered that only one person was online. Their username was #IamAFed. A message popped up in the chat room. "Hello Kylie, I'm Detective James Potter." Intrigued, Kylie swiftly typed a response. "I remember seeing you in the news. Was that you at the window just now?" she inquired. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the room saying, "Ooh hoo hoo, what'd do, little pedo?" Kylie's heart skipped a beat. Then, she heard Simon's voice shouting, "I have an M16, you stupid motherfucker!" The seconds felt like an eternity. Another loud cackle filled the room, followed by the voice saying, "Ooh, hoo hoo, what's the matter, pedo? Act like you've never seen a magic clown before." The cackling continued, and moments later, the sound of an M16 firing and wood shredding filled the air. Another loud cackle followed, along with the sound of change hitting the floor from above. Simon could be heard running up the stairs, unlocking the big door and opening it with a loud groan. Seconds later, the door closed and the voice exclaimed, "Ooh, hoo, hoo, hello, pedo!" The M16 fired once again. Kylie, startled and concerned, turned around, pulling the towel over her chest. She looked back at the laptop and decided to switch to the camera feed so she could communicate without typing. She typed, "Click onto the camera feed so you can hear me." "I'm decent and tired of typing. Type Kylie." Seconds later, the screen lit up, displaying the message. #IamAFed is watching live. "What the hell is going on, detective?" Kylie asked, feeling a mix of fear and confusion. Meanwhile, Simon turned on the sink in the bathroom and pounded on the wall, calling out, Kai, finish up in there and get something to eat. Come to bed," he shouted. Kylie responded, "Okay, Daddy, are we safe?" "Daddy's hallucinating." "I need some sleep sometime," he responded. "Okay, Daddy," Kylie said, trying to calm Simon down. She turned back to the laptop, feeling a mix of exhaustion and curiosity. "What's going on, detective?" she asked, hoping for some answers. Just then, out of nowhere, a green balloon with a red string appeared in the room, catching Kylie's attention. Attached to it was a note. Kylie got up and walked over to the balloon, peeling the note off. It read, "Hello, Kiwi, I'm here to save you. Sign K." Confused and shocked, Kylie muttered, "What the fa?" She returned to the laptop, only to hear a knock at the door. Kai, are you there? Came the voice of Selena, who should have been chained up upstairs. Yeah, it's me, honey, Kylie replied. Can I come in? Selena asked. Go ahead, Kylie responded, and a small 8-year-old girl walked into the room. It was Selena Gonzalez, a clone of Victoria Justice. Kylie couldn't help but notice the resemblance to a young Victoria Justice. Mama, a creepy clown disappeared upstairs and magically all of our chains fell off, Selena explained. He said he was corrupted by the clown and more. The Fae answered our prayer, and he's here to rescue us. Chapter 2, Previews. From Simon's POV, Simon closed the door behind him and made his way to his gun case, perplexed by the open door. Suddenly, a clown materialized out of thin air, startling Simon. What the? He began, but before he could finish, the clown let out a cackling laugh and taunted, Ooh, hoo, what it do, little Pito? Reacting quickly, Simon grabbed his M16, his voice filled with rage as he shouted, I have an M16, you motherfucker! However, just as suddenly as the clown appeared, it vanished, leaving behind a balloon. Simon, not taking any chances, threw a throwing star at the balloon, popping it. But the clown's voice echoed from the hallway, mocking Simon. Ooh, hoo, what's the matter, little pedo? Act like you've never seen a magic clown before. The sound of the voice sent chills down Simon's spine. Determined to protect his loved ones, he sprinted down the hallway, M16 pointed ahead and squeezed the trigger. Bullets tore through the walls, shredding them to pieces. 6. Shaking his head in disbelief, Simon rushed up the stairs to check on his girls. He couldn't shake off the feeling that this clown might be after them. As he reached the top of the steps, he noticed the impossible. The bars on the windows were bent back, as if someone had tampered with them. These bars were designed to be impenetrable, even against a laser cutter. Simon's concern grew, and he hurried to ensure the safety of his daughters. Simon, now convinced that he must be experiencing the effects of laced drugs, rubbed his eyes in disbelief. He walked towards his daughter's room, unlocking the door and placing the M16 against the wall. The heavy door groaned as it opened, revealing his girls, all chained up and fast asleep. Startled, he turned around to see an angelic figure standing in the reflection of the mirror. He spun around, but there was nothing there. Slowly, he closed the door behind him, only to be confronted by the clown once again. Ooh, hoo, hello, Pito, cackled the clown. Simon, filled with fear and frustration, grabbed the M16 and fired the gun, but the clown vanished into thin air once more. Man, I'm tearing my house to shreds over a damn hallucination, he muttered, laying the M16 against the wall. He walked downstairs, feeling a sense of defeat, and entered the restroom. Turning on the sink, he splashed water on his face and pounded on the wall. Kai, finish up in there, get something to eat and come to bed, Simon shouted. Okay, Daddy, are we safe? Kylie's voice echoed from the other room, filled with concern. Simon took a moment to collect himself before responding, Daddy's hallucinating. I need some sleep sometime, he responded. Okay, Daddy, Kylie said. In that very moment, Simon catches a glimpse of little Selena strolling past the bathroom door. His heart races as he dashes towards the doorway, cautiously peering out. To his dismay, the clown reappears, sending a shiver down his spine. Oh, dear Satan, lend me your strength, Simon mutters, shaking his head in disbelief. He retreats to his bedroom, hoping for solace. As he opens the door, a peculiar sight awaits him. His room is inundated with an array of vibrant balloons. Simon sighs, determined to forge ahead, and navigates through the sea of balloons, eventually collapsing onto his bed. Weary, he closes his eyes only to be greeted by the haunting image of the clown standing beside his bed. To his astonishment, a pale woman with reptilian skin, bearing an uncanny resemblance to Lady Gaga, donning a crimson cloak, stands beside the clown. From the perspective of the angel Michael at 11:40 p.m., Michael's heart ached for these unfortunate children who had lost their faith in God 6 years ago. If only they knew that Jesus had answered their prayers and sent him all those years ago. Amongst them, little Kylie was the only one who still held on to her faith. The sweet girls were all filled with sorrow, believing that knew that Jesus had answered their prayers and sent him all those years ago. Amongst them, little Kylie was the only one who still held on to her faith. The sweet girls were all filled with sorrow, believing that their mother would be murdered. It was a peculiar situation, as all these girls were clones. Mary, a clone of Sophia Carson, was 17 years old. Selma, a clone of Selena Gomez, was 16. Taylor, a clone of Zendaya, was 15. Say a clone of Megan Fox was 14. Sonia, a clone of Ava Witherspoon, was 13. Lataya, a clone of Sky Jackson, was 12. Angel, a clone of Camila Cabello, was 11. Lataya, a clone of Camila Mendez, was 10. Demi, a clone of Vanessa Hudgens, was 9. and little Selena, a clone of Victoria Justice, was 8. Most clones were not granted access to heaven, but these 11 were an exception, a divine intervention from God. Michael, however, struggled to comprehend the reasons behind this exception, as all the girls, except for Kylie, devotedly prayed and worshipped Lucifer, who had taken the form of a woman. Kylie and her prophet Cody, who went by the name Kurrupt the Clown, were on a mission to save these children. Kurrupt the Clown was a clone of the infamous guru known as Kurrupt. Despite his questionable intentions, he believed he was coming to rescue the children. Strangely, God had forbidden me from stopping him, claiming it was his will. It was a perplexing situation, as Kurrupt the Clown always claimed to follow God's will. Meanwhile, Kylie was braiding Selena's hair with care, while little Demi enthusiastically painted her nails. "Mama, does it hurt?" Selena asked, tears streaming down her face. Kylie, stepping away from the window, replied, "At first, yes, but you'll get used to it." The girls giggled, commenting on the small size of his thing. However, Kylie kicked Saya's leg when she noticed Selena's weeping. "What the hell?" Saya exclaimed as Kylie glanced at Selena, who was in tears. Selena sat down next to Kylie, who reassured her, "No, Selena, trust me, it doesn't hurt," wiping away her own tears. Meanwhile, Angel Michael approached the window and peered out, shaking his head in disapproval. He saw Kurrupt the Clown standing by the barn, accompanied by Lucifer, who appeared grotesque and violently unsettling. Above the clown, a fallen angel who had recently chosen to serve the Lord flew with an aura of gold and black. Michael found it strange that this fallen angel had joined the ranks of the seraphim angels. Kurrupt the Clown had a clouded aura mixed with gold and black. "Mama, we can all defeat them, can't we?" Taylor asked, her voice filled with determination. "No," said Kyle. "Why not?" "There are 11 of us, and he's just a fat old ass," questioned Taylor. "Think about it. He keeps us chained up, and the only time we're free from these chains is on film day," Saya added. Taylor suggested, "But we could overpower him when he comes in." Kylie intervened, "No, Taylor, it's not worth it. I promise you, God will let me come back as an angel. But forget that, it seems like God has forgotten about us." "He's been ignoring our prayers," shouted Angel as the angel Michael sighed, shaking his head. He glanced back out the window, and to his surprise, Kurrupt the Clown looked up, waving and performing his silly little clown dance. He even threw up the K sign with his hands. Just then, Simon entered the room and walked over to Kylie. He unlocked her chains, and before anyone could comprehend what was happening, Kylie was gone. Previously, from Kurrupt Clown point of view, Kurrupt stood by the barn, glancing up at the window where he spotted Saya peering out. Clones seem to be everywhere, he mused, reflecting on his own existence as a clone created back in 2007. The memories of his creation were hazy, and he couldn't recall who had orchestrated it. In 2008, he found himself in Detroit, where he was arrested for the murder of Constance's abusive father. Constance, along with Kiwi Lopez, Tony, Tasha, and Phoebe, formed an unlikely group of escapees from a juvenile prison. Together, they embarked on a journey, eventually robbing a pawn shop in Mobridge, South Dakota. Kurrupt and Kiwi in particular formed a bond during their escapades, robbing 51 banks and taking the lives of 15 registered sex offenders. However, his reign of terror came to an end when he was arrested later that year. The betrayal of Lexi Felix, a member of a curry-woted notorious cult called the Fae with 500,000 followers, led to his capture. During his transfer to court in a prison van, Kiwi and Cole, loyal allies of Kurrupt, ambushed the vehicle. In the chaos that ensued, 2 police officers lost their lives, and Keith Johnson, also known as North Wap Hussein, and Constance were freed. Constance, now serving multiple life sentences, currently resides in the Dublin, United States Penitentiary. Keith Jefferson, one of Kurrupt's associates, managed to evade capture and is reportedly doing well. Tragically, Cole Coulson was murdered in 2019, and Kiwi Lopez lost his life while trying to protect Kurrupt in his compound in Waco, Texas in 2020. It was during this incident that Kurrupt made a daring escape, jumping into a mysterious pit in the Rocky Mountains. To his surprise, he found himself transported to an entirely new dimension known as the Fairy Realm. After spending a considerable amount of time in the Fairy Realm, Kurrupt emerged in the year 2050. He embraced his new identity as Kurrupt Clown and embarked on a chilling carceneer. Utilizing a website called Music Space Media, created by someone known as Kurrupt DA'guru, Kurrupt began live streaming his acts of vengeance against sex offenders. With 300 murders under his belt, Kurrupt found himself standing by a barn in the newly transformed Detroit, United States. Little did he know that his entire life was about to take a dramatic turn. "Ah, dear little Lou, I crave your presence." chuckled Kurrupted, as a mysterious figure cloaked in crimson materialized unexpectedly. The Archangel Michael glanced through the window, shaking his celestial head in disapproval. "What is your desire, Cody?" inquired Lucifer. "Oh, what it do, Lou?" "I have summoned you," cackled Kurrupted, while Michael retreated from the window once more. "Oh my, you've come to rescue the little harlot," said Lucifer Kurrupted, delivering such a forceful blow to Lucifer that her hood was forcefully dislodged from her head, revealing a woman with reptilian skin and a face reminiscent of Lady Gaga. "Watch your whore mouth," Kurrupt hissed, as he clownishly pranced and waved at Michael, who peered cautiously from the window. Disgusted, Michael gestured in disdain, expressing his contempt. "You think smacking the devil is an accomplishment?" Lucifer retorted. "What will you do about it?" "Don't provoke me further ill-sick Morgan on you," Kurrupted taunted, his words dripping with malice. Suddenly, a petite fairy materialized out of thin air, using her magical powers to forcefully slam Lucifer against the wall. "In the name of Yeshua Christ, I command you to kneel," shouted Morgan, her voice filled with authority. Both Lucifer and Kurrupted found themselves compelled to drop to their knees. As if appearing out of nowhere, a man with light brown skin, a long beard and shoulder-length hair emerged. He carried himself with a hunchbacked posture, an enigmatic figure in this chaotic scene. With holes in the middle of his wrists, the man placed his hand on Kurrupted the Clown's shoulder, commanding, "Assad, stand up." "What did you call me?" Kurrupted asked, bewildered. "It means Lion of God, your true name," Jesus replied, his voice filled with warmth and authority. Kurrupted stumbled back, overwhelmed by the presence of the Son of God, the Messiah. "Ooh, what is this?" cackled Kurrupted, unable to contain his excitement. Jesus smiled at him and spoke gently. "I am here to give you a gift." As he waved his hand over Kurrupted's ear, a crescent moon-shaped earring materialized. "This earring will make anything you say possible. All you need to do is think of it, and it will happen. Use it wisely, Lion of God. You don't need Satan, but I know you have a deal with her. Remember, I love you. Remember, all you need to do is ask. Even evil can switch sides," Jesus said before vanishing into thin air. Lucifer rose to her feet and disappeared, frustrated. "Damn it, more games," muttered Kurrupted. "What the hell can I do now?" he shouted in frustration. "Use the earring, silly." "You don't need me to perform magic for you. You have the gift of faith," Morgan suggested. "That won't work," Kurrupted argued. "Really? Why not?" questioned Morgan. Before she could finish her statement, a Little Caesar's pizza materialized in Kurrupted's hand. "Well, I'll be," Kurrupted exclaimed in astonishment. Chapter 3, June 26, 2016, 3 days prior, 2 a.m. Averse to violence, he retrieved a Ziploc bag of crack from the glove compartment, discreetly placing it in the stomach pouch of his black hoodie. Securing his Tech N9 on his waistband, he approached a cluster of tents. Amidst 2 lawn chairs, a 6F crackhead named Tiny and a short, wiry Charles occupied the scene. Simon addressed them. "Sup, Chucky?" Charles corrected. "Stop calling me Chucky, it's Charles." Ignoring the nickname debate, Simon tossed Charles the bag of crack, who caught it with a toothy grin. Charles, eager to strike a deal, proposed, "Instead of offing old Kylie, let me have her, I'll pay top dollar." Tiny chimed in, "Hell no, I'm not killing her." As Tiny lit a cigarette, he reminded Simon of past actions. "But you off all the girls on their 18th birthday. Kylie's special, that's why I need her baby sister." Simon, uninterested, replied, "No way, I won't kill her." Tiny countered, "You know where she lives, right?" Simon affirmed, "Yeah, she's over on New 22nd. Charles, seizing the opportunity, tossed a bag of meth over, prompting Simon to pull out a bowl and indulge. Tiny proposed a tempting alternative. "How about a pound of heroin from Sarah, and she'll give it to me?" Simon, dismissing the offer, stashed the pipe and meth in his hoodie pouch. "Nah, forget that. I know where she lives. I'll handle it myself," Simon declared. As Simon contemplated his solo mission, Tiny whipped out his phone, suggesting, "Come on, I'll pay you both $2,000 to help me do it." New 22, Mile New Detroit, America. Sarah, the clone of Jenny J. Wow, the mother of Kylie, sat in a rocking chair watching her daughter Selena sleep. She is pissed Tiny's dumbass reneged down heroin. Now she has to rob Wells Fargo Bank in downtown New Detroit. She needs heroin bad. She's sick as all hell. She never even thought it would ever come to this. But Mike doesn't get enough money as a satanic priest. He only gets 900 coin a month, salary 600 coin, goes to rent, and the rest goes to heroin. Sarah used to be a stripper after she was arrested for assaulting a federal officer, but heroin messed her up bad. Flashback 1 flash, where she had be. Lashback 13 years ago, 2047, Old Detroit, USA. Sarah was watching her little girl Kylie swing on a swing behind the apartment she shared with her boyfriend in New Detroit. She worked in Old Detroit where she had been working as a secretary to the Church of Satan. She gets $900 in cash that she would deposit in Wells Fargo Bank to be deposited on Tour Tattoo ID. She lived in an apartment on 22 Mile that satanic pastor Mike Gonzalez put in his name. Both Mike and Sarah have visas to come into New Anarchy to work since religion is illegal in America. They both work in New Anarchy. A man known as Elijah Prophet takes cash and flips it into coin. He has $300 trillion in coin. He believes that Leave Libra. Coin is a market of beast. This is why he uses music coin. He runs the dark web and makes fake tattoos and laundries cash and music coin. No one knows his true identity. Some believe he is President Kanye West in disguise right now. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is President Kurrupt. The Guru is running for office in 64. Because of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is planning on resigning. She has been president since 2030. She wants to resign in 64 before Sarah knew it. She saw Kylie run up to a fat man in a Santa Claus suit. The fat man in the Santa Claus suit picks her up and throws her in the air, handing her a candy cane. Sarah hops up and walks up to the man. "Happy holidays," said Sarah. Seconds later, she is knocked unconscious. She comes to. A woman is leaning over her. "Sarah Gonzalez, I'm Detective Angie Lucero. Your daughter has been kidnapped." Sarah jumps to her feet and hits Detective with the left and a right hook, knocking her out with the left hook. A man steps into review, pulling out a gun. "Sarah Carlin, put your hands up." "Now shout," the man. Sarah takes off running. The man takes chase as Sarah sprints to the street. The man is hot on her trail. He sacks her like a linebacker. Seconds later, she is in handcuffs. "Sarah, come out to the kitchen," shouts Mike, snapping Sarah out of her memory and back to the present. Sarah gets up and walks in the living room to sit on the couch next to the kitchen where Mike was sitting. He had a needle with some heroin in it. "This is a little I managed to scrounge up. It's enough to hold you till you get more," said Mike. Mike was addicted to heroin as well. "Is that heroin?" asks Sarah. "No, it's fentanyl, but it will help with your dope sickness," said Mike, and Sarah quickly got a vein and shoots up, falling back on the couch. She lays back, enjoying the head rush for a few minutes. "So I'm going to call Skinny tomorrow and ask him to help me rob Wells Fargo in the morning. I bought a clown mask off Music Space Media, plus I purchased the Scrambler tattoo from the dark web. So when we walk into the bank, it'll give us a fake name," said Sarah. "Once you go into the bank, you scan your arm to a scanner and it deposits money under tattoo, but they hold cash in the safe. The US holds cash in a bank since it deals with New Anarchy. Each bank holds $1 million in cash that comes from taxes from New Anarchy. That's how New Anarchy remains. The taxes anyways, back on track. Yeah, I know we can get $6,000, at least $5,000 for a pound. And 1,000 for food." Since Sarah, "Okay, sounds good," says Mike. Old Detroit, New Anarchy. Skinny woke up to the sound of his phone ringing. He woke up naked in the bed, next to 4 naked black girls, Shauna, Tamara, and LaShawn. All 4 are clones. Shauna is the clone of Cardi B, LaShawn is the clone of Megan Thee Stallion, Tamara is the clone of Sweetie, and Shauna is the clone of Nicki Minaj, and Skinny is also a clone of Justin Bieber. Skinny ridges over and answer his phone call at me. May, said Skinny. "Hey baby, we gonna hit the lick. Meet me at MacArthur Park at 8 a.m. "Bring the guns with explosives, tip bullets," said Sarah, and then she hangs up. Skinny shakes his head. He loves Sarah. He still can remember the day he first met Sarah 5 years ago. Old Detroit, New Anarchy, Daddy's Girl Strip Club, July 13th, 2055. Skinny walked in the club. The song Candy, Dripping Like Water by Snoop Dogg, was playing in the background. The owner rushed up the Skinny Handsome. A snack of cash in the front of the stage was 2 little kids that could be no older than 12 years old, watching as an Asian stripper was shaking her butt. Skinny smiled as he and his entourage made their way to the VIP section. Just as Turned Down for What by DJ Snake and Little John began to play in the background, Skinny pays for 3 bottles of Aces of Spade and asked for a private dancer. The newest stripper 10 minutes later standing in front of Skinny was a clone of Jenny J. Wow. She crawled on Skinny's lap and began to grind as a song Psychosocial by Kurrupt DA'guru began playing. "What's your name?" Mommy whispered Skinny in her ear, Candy Cane. She said, "No, Mommy, what's your real name?" Ask Annie. Candy can bend over and begin to twerk. Sticking her butt in his face, "They call me Sarah." She said if she continued the private show, "So why you strep boo, ask Skinny, why you ask so many questions? What do you do, big baller?" As Sarah, "Me, I'm a freelance pharmaceutical salesman," said Skinny. Sarah giggles, "So you could get me some Oxy and some Dro," said Sarah, as she keeps on dancing for Skinny. "Sure, but why get that? I got something a million times better here. Try this." And Skinny, as he grabs a mirror off the coffee table, handing her a straw suck. "That in your pretty nose, shawty," said Skinny. Sarah does. She told, and instantly, she feels the rest of the head. She nods out for a few seconds. "Oh my, that's the greatest feeling I have ever felt. What was that chest, I call it? Lilith kiss. You ain't seen Sadie until that floods your veins." "Mommy," said Skinny. "No way it gets better than that," she says as she hops off his lap. Skinny starts a line of pure coke, then reaches into his pocket, pulling out a pack of needles. "Come home with me and I'll show you heaven," said Skinny. "Earth," the Skinny said, Lashana snapping her finger and Skinny's space snapping it out of him, out of his splash. "Back. Hey, what's good? Since Kenny, come on, Daddy, we hurting? Let's get it fixed," she said, as the other three were picking up the bedroom door. Skinny smiles, rises to his feet, walks over to his safe, pulling out a pound of heroin and a stack of cash. He tosses it to LaShawn. "Enjoy, go, buy me some groceries, split that pound between the four of you, I got swag to do." "I'll be back later," said Skinny as he pulls out 2 Glock 9s and a 12 gauge, a green Gucci bag, a trench coat, and a crust of the clown mask. He pulls the mask over his face and pulls on the trench coat and walks out the door. Sarah had been parked in the parking lot for 30 minutes before Skinny jumped in the car. Sarah turns and gives Skinny a dirty look, shaking her head as she pulls onto the road. He hands her one of the Glocks. "What took you so long, as Sarah soy boo?" "I had to walk here, damn," said Skinny. They sat in silence for 10 minutes until they pulled up to the gate that separates New Anarchy from America. She and Skinny stick their arm into the scanner, scanning their fake tattoos so that they could leave a few seconds later. The gate opens and they drive into America. Thank God for Christian Cook's laugh. Sarah, referring to the fake ID dance on the scrambler tattoo on her arm. "You scared Daddy?" She said, "Hell's not. I got old Sally. She never let me down," said Skinny, as he slapped a 12 gauge in his hand. "You called your gauge?" Sally asks Sarah. Skinny shakes his head. "Yes." Sarah giggles and smiles. "What's the name of your Glocks?" she asked. "Oh, I called them. B," Sarah said, Skinny smiling ear to ear. 20 minutes later, Wells Fargo Bank, New Detroit, America, 8:06 a.m. 2. Mass individuals run into the bank. One individual points a gauge at the security guard, pulls a trigger, ripping the guard completely in half, as the second armed individual shoots a gun at the ceiling and screams, "Whoop, whoop, LJF for life." "This is a bank robbery," screamed a masked individual who had a woman's voice. "This is the other masked individual," jumps on a counter, pointing the gauge at the clerk's head, dropping the Gucci bag on the counter. "Fill that all cash, hurry, shout," shouted the masked individual with a man's voice. He reaches into his trench coat and pulls out a bag of black trash bags. He spins the gauge to the other 3 clerks. "Fill these bags of cash," as he spins the gauge back to the first clerk. "Hurry the fucknya," he yells and pulls the trigger. Her head explodes like a water balloon. He rips the bag off the counter as the other clerks got the bags full. He rips the bag out of their hands and blows her head off anyways. He pulls out his Glock 9 and kills the other 2 clerks, jumping up off the counter. He clown walks and throws the K up and runs out the door. Followed behind by the woman. When they reach the parking lot, 2 police cars pull into the parking lot. The man loads 2 shells and Engaged jumps on the hood of the cop car, pointing the gauge at the window shield. Pull the trigger, pop in the RoboCop's head like a balloon. Then doing the same to the second cop. At the same moment, the woman lights the other 2 cops up. The man runs to the car and another cop car pulls in the parking lot. Sarah points the Glock, tearing the car to shreds. They jump in the car and drive off into the sunrise. Thank God for explosive tip bullets, huh? If you want to hear the rest of the book, contact me at my email, kurruptdaguru@gmail.com.